Howdy, everyone. Tad Stevens on the Micro Success Secrets podcast, where we focus on business, psychology, and marketing, and how you can use that in your business daily and long term. Today, I'm talking with Adriana Girdler, who is one of Canada's foremost business productivity and project management specialists. Armed with a master's Lean Six Sigma black belt and over 20 years of experience in projects, productivity, and process improvement methodologies, she launched her company, CornerStone Dynamics, in 2008. Adriana has worked in various industries to improve what they do, how they do it, and their bottom line. She also holds both PMP and CET designations. She is an entrepreneur, professional speaker, workshop leader, author of Efficiency Matters, the Spark Shift book series, and the Visual Vision Statement Workbook. She is also creator of Slay Project Management, the only 5-hour online practical PM course that takes you from concept to close so you can slay your projects. She's a TEDx speaker, HuffPost and Thrive Global contributor, and has her own YouTube channel. Appeared on CBC, CTV, CHCH Global 680 News Radio, NewsTalk 1010, Sirius XM, and the Globe and Mail. Adriana, how you doing? Let me know if I missed anything.
No, I think you got it all, Pat. Thank you. That's a mouthful.
That was excellent, though. I mean, it is a great background.
Well, thank you. It was a journey in progress and still in progress. So,
well, that's a good lead into our first question, because I always start with this one, and it's, if you could get in a time machine and go back any point in time, and you could change one, maybe two business or life decisions. First off, would you change anything? And if you would change it, what would you change it to?
Those are good questions. First of all, like generally speaking about what I'm doing and where I'm at, I would not change anything. I love where I am at today. I love the fact that I have my company, my family, my personal life, the whole 9 years. Now, what I would change though, and this is a business decision, is I would have started my YouTube channel earlier. So I opened it back in 2013, but I didn't really do much with it. And I only really got into it the last couple of years. And I kick myself. It's like, because there's energy behind it, right? And if I would have just started earlier and gotten into it the way I'm doing it now, that's for sure something I really wish I would have done, and I would have understood the power behind it. And I didn't. But that's okay, because I'm moving forward now with it.
And that's how we learn. I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know anybody that starts off doing a business or businesses or in business for themselves and says, oh, I got to set up these social platforms and do this campaign that you don't know yet. But that is one thing. I will tell you this, that is one thing. Starting earlier is the most common response I get to that.
You know what? And it's interesting, because I think there's some people, particularly now when with COVID and everyone being at home and we don't have that interaction as we used to before, the power of that has even exploded even more so. And there's now people trying to scramble. And I come across individuals, like we did get into other social media channels a while back. Right. But it does need to be part of your business plan, and you do have to think of it, and it doesn't happen overnight. That's why I wish I would have started it a little bit earlier and would have, been more focused on it, because what it gives me now is exactly where I want to be. And I just, it's always that wish. Oh, I wish I would have just done it earlier.
Yeah.
That would have been good. That would have been good. But heck, I'm in a great spot. So
but
no
you
complaint.
did it. And
you
did it. And what comes to mind, that is one of my favorite Chinese, and I don't know if it's a proverb or just a saying, but it's, when is the best time to plant a tree?
Yeah.
Well, 20 years ago. When's the second best time? Right now.
Absolutely.
And for all the listeners, the right now, I believe, is super important, because one of the things that I've heard multiple times from multiple people is that what COVID did, as far as your online presence, more than anything else, it just accelerated it 10 years.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, it just brought everything a lot quicker. So start now.
Absolutely.
Just, plant the tree now, work on it now. Don't worry about it. Move on to the next one.
Absolutely. And don't think you're too busy, because it does pay off in dividends. Now, what people don't realize too is it's a lot of energy and effort. So you have to, like a tree, and you're planting your seed, you have to nurture it. So
yep, you got to tend that garden. Absolutely.
You got to tend it. Absolutely.
So in a related thought if you could go back in time, same time machine, different time machine,
Okay.
you could go back, you're back in time and you're looking at one decision that was super positive for you. I mean, just over the top positive. And it's one of those things where you look at everything before and you look at everything after, and it's kind of a dividing line for your memories.
Absolutely.
Do you have one or more of those you'd share?
Absolutely. That was starting my company in 2008, period.
I get that a lot too.
Defining moment in life, but there's good reason
Yes.
for it. It isn't because I started my own company. I started my company in 2008 when there was a major recession.
Oh,
Major recession. Like, what? You're starting a company with a major recession?
Mhm.
But it was one of those things where everything was aligned, and I was getting asked, because I was working at an organization, and I actually did my Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt training at a university, and that was like 3 days a week for like 10 months. So I got to know all these other business professionals, and they were asking me, oh my, for me, getting that Master Black Belt was just like the cherry on top of the sundae, because I already had all this experience in automotive and all this other stuff. So it wasn't like I was learning stuff. It was more just making it official. And so obviously in conversation, they all knew that I had this knowledge and experience. So they were coming to me like, oh my goodness, can you help us? Can you do? So there was that pivotal point in my life where here I was working for an amazing organization. I could have easily climbed up that ladder, but I was getting asked, can you help us? Can you help us? And I always knew in my mind, like even 10 years earlier than that, I always wanted to start my own company. I just didn't know what, how, when, how it was going to unfold. And then here was this opportunity at this course with other business professionals. My company was paying for it, like my organization I was working for, they were paying for it. And I'm getting asked by all of these other professionals, oh my goodness, we love your skill set. You have a project management background, you have this Lean Six Sigma background. Can you help us? And that's when I literally made the decision, okay, what am I going to do? I have this opportunity to open up a company. Am I going to do it? Or am I going to play safe and stay at the company? Because I've always was a big believer, and still am, of visioning and goal setting. And I always written down this goal. Like, when I opened my company in 2008, back in 2000, I actually wrote down, by 2010, I want to have my own company. I didn't say what, I just knew I wanted my own company. And so, I saved that stuff. So when I really reflected, I went, damn it, I got to go past my fear. I have to walk through that threshold, that opportunity, that door is opening, and I'm going to walk past the fear. And here I am doing it in 2008 during a major recession when companies are laying people off, and I want to start my own company by offering services.
Yeah.
But honestly, best decision I ever made, monumental decision. I have been nonstop ever since, and I could never imagine myself personally, because I'm meant to be doing what I'm doing, because as soon as I said yes, everything unfolded perfectly, and it unfolded quickly. And I just had job after job after job, because I'm meant to be doing this. This is my life's purpose, for sure, for sure.
Well, okay, step back one step before you made the decision. And a lot, I bring this up because it rolls perfectly into it for the podcast, is a lot of people come up against those and they get stuck.
Right.
So that's a big decision. I mean, that is a huge decision. There's also lots of medium and small decisions. And I'm sure you deal with these daily. I mean, we all do. Anybody in business does. But do you have a method or tools or the ways that you go about getting through those?
Absolutely.
How do you get stuck?
So, first and foremost, look behind me. If you are videotaping this, you can see that's my corporate vision statement, my visual vision statement. So that's my corporate guidance. And I'm going to move, this is my personal vision statement. And so if you actually watch my TED Talk, I actually talk about how I use this as a tool. So I'm a big believer, and this is my corporate background as well. Successful companies are very clear in their vision. You need a vision, your beacon in the night, the guidance that's going to guide you where you want to go. You then take a step back and you put your strategies and your goals and your tactics, and then you execute those over time. That's how you move forward, okay? Like, you have to have some structure, but you need the vision, and it has to be inspiring. And so, but you have to use it as a tool. So I use mine as a litmus test. It's like, if what I'm pursuing, is that aligned with my vision? If the answer is yes, and I know that I put the right strategies around it, I will continue down that path, because you're always going to have the hiccups. You're always going to be going, oh, am I doing the right thing? And then you just continue a little bit more. And then it's like, whoa, thank God I stayed with that, because look what unfolded. And if I would have stepped back and said, no, I'm not going to do that, or I wasn't clear on the path I wanted to take, then I would have totally missed that opportunity. And I actually talk about that in my TED Talk. I talk about how I have a whole nother side to my business, which I never would have even expected would have come, would even been correlated if I were to look at it from day one. But how it unfolded is because of the path that you're on. And you need a strong vision. That vision statement is your guiding light, because you're going to be tempted with the white noise of life. Things are constantly in front of you. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. The squirrel syndrome. So you need to take back and realize, look, there's tons of squirrels out there. You can't be chasing every single one. You're going to tire out, and you're going to be running around in circles. You need to be strategic. And that vision statement, to me, both professionally and personally, which is why I have that workbook, is so critical to life. And it's just going to allow you to really be focused and laser beam, because time is something we can't control. And so you better use it wisely.
Okay. I'm making a note, because I want to make sure that shows up. I'll have a timestamp for the show notes, because that is super. And I love the squirrel analogy. I love squirrels. So anyway, to kind of wrap it all up, and I think you've answered this, I think, at least twice already, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because you may want to elaborate or phrase it differently. But if a pandemic came along and changed everything, and you had to start from scratch, knowing what you know now, would you go do what you're doing now? I mean, would you still be doing it?
Absolutely.
We laugh.
We laugh at this at the office with my team, because I'm like, man, if I were to win like the super lotto, I would still be doing it.
You'd still do it.
Well, I would still do it. I would probably be a little more selective. Do you know what I mean? I'd probably be a little more selective and maybe pursue some other ideas that I have that need money in order to do it. And obviously, but this is who I am. This is Adriana Girdler. What you see is what you get. The business, everything. It's all 24/7, man. 24/7.
See, I almost didn't ask that, because you've said it more than once, but I just to follow through and
absolutely
follow my
consistency, man. Consistency.
Oh yeah, got to do it. Adriana, thank you very much. This has been wonderful. This has been fun.
It has. Thank you.
Oh, you are very welcome. And we're going to wrap up now. Is there anything that you'd like to close with? And do you have anything that would benefit the listeners and viewers that you could share with them? Absolutely.
So the close, what do I want to close with? I guess if there's one parting lesson I'm in of experience, okay? Look, life has its challenges, and there's always these detours that we're given. But if you're really clear on who you are and what you want to do, it just makes it easier to say yes to the right thing, right? So really have a good personal vision statement. If you have an organization, have a really good organizational vision statement. And what I want to leave with is I would like two things. I would like for people to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and I'll tell you why. Okay, yeah, there's a personal side to it. I love having subscribers. I'm not gonna lie. Please subscribe. No, I'm doing it well. It's growing. But what I have on there is, if you go to my playlist and you go under visioning, I actually took my workbook because of COVID back in March, and I translated it into a 2-part video series. So I actually walk people through my workbook for free, walk them through it, 2-part video series. So if anyone is intrigued about visioning and how to create your own personal vision statement, a corporate vision statement, watch this 2-part video series on my YouTube channel. Go under the playlist, visual, I think visioning, it's a visioning, and you'll find it, like search it and you'll find it. And I walk you through my workbook. So look at you, there's no excuse. There's no saying, I can't do it, I got to pay. No, it's for free, man. I'm giving you something for free. There's no excuse. I expect a vision statement, and please share it with me, because I love it when people do that and they create their vision statement. And the second thing is, one thing because of COVID that people aren't realizing on a professional sense is, because of COVID and people working more from home, what's popping up and I'm seeing with my clients is this need to be more organized and more disciplined at home with getting our work done. And so I'm seeing is the need for more project management skill sets, because project management skill sets very strategic in the corporate world. And what I'm seeing is a lot of my clients are now seeing it as an essential skill set that they want all their managerial individuals to have. And they're really looking at it. So I actually have a free project management webinar that people can go to. And that is super. Yeah, so it's a free webinar. It's basically the secret strategy to creating excellent projects, so that people can have like just an intro into why this is so important. And I'll tell you, and I think another thing that's really critical too, we've been so focused on COVID, we're forgetting about our artificial intelligence. And we have our smartphones and all of that other stuff, which is artificial intelligence. So it's not like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But what we're finding in the corporate world is there's a lot of now roles and jobs that we're finding algorithms associated with them, and they're being taken over by artificial intelligence. Really good example is lawyers and contracts. That is going out the door. Artificial intelligence is taking that over. And so I tell people this because you have to, there's been lots of studies on it beforehand, and they're showing more and more what's become more valuable are people who are strategic in thought process and who can be creative in thought process. And the really cool thing with project management skill set is you become a strategic partner and a creative solution finder. Artificial intelligence can't copy that yet. Yet.
Hopefully for a while, because that's I do a lot
for
of that.
a while. Yeah. So, that's why I say, because people always come to me, what can I refine? Listen, every company's going to have a project. There's projects everywhere we go. And if you know how to organize yourself and motivate other people who don't report into you, you have some structure and framework, it's going to make a huge difference. So check it out. It is slayprojectmanagement.com/webinar. So I'll give you that info, slayprojectmanagement.com/webinar. And then my YouTube channel is Adriana Girdler. That's simple, Adriana Girdler. And those are the two free things I want to give to your listeners, because it is so critical. Think of this as the universe coming together. We're chatting. And if you're listening to this, you're meant to be hearing this. So go check that out. It's free.
Okay. And I want to throw in what you mentioned about the creative part and the organization part of what corporates are looking for now. And it just how important it is even outside of corporate. The world is going there. I mean, they taught you back when I was first starting out, they talked about going from the industrial age to the information age. Well, if we ever went to the information age, that's where we're going next, is the creative age, because I'm reading a couple books on it. It is weaved in with other books I've read. It is super important. So go check this out. I cannot stress, from my background and Adriana's, what she shared, that's where we're going as economies. And that's where your value needs to be.
Absolutely.
Definitely check that out. Adriana, thank you again very, very much. Really appreciate that. Wonderful shares. I appreciate your time. Thank everybody for listening. Have a very, very safe and productive week, and be the very, very best at whatever you are doing. Until next time, this is Tad Stevens. Micro Success Secrets. Bye for now.